Well, I just want to share my predictions about South Africa. So I'll try to predict what's going to happen in the next maybe 5 years or 10 years. And let's see, let's get started. Well, a lot of things are happening in South Africa. And at this moment, a lot of South Africans are experiencing a lot of changes that are happening in their country. For most of them, the challenges that people are facing are actually not good. Very few are benefiting from whatever is happening in South Africa. Things are going to get tough and even tougher in South Africa. And if you are young, maybe you are a teenager or somebody who's just in the early 20s, please watch this video so that you can get a better perspective of what is going to happen. Slowly, South Africa is transforming to become Africa. When I say that, what I'm meaning is that South Africa is now slowly going to be like all the other countries in Africa. And for many of you, it's not going to be good news because the way life is in the rest of Africa is not easy. It's very, very tough. So life is going to get tough in South Africa. If you thought that at this moment life is very tough for you in South Africa, you better think again, because brace yourself for the time that's going to become even much, much, much tougher. I'm saying this because when you look at the characteristics of the politicians in South Africa, you cannot differentiate with the politicians that we have in the rest of Africa. This means that things are not going to be getting better in South Africa anytime soon, unless people in South Africa, they start voting wisely. So what are my predictions about South Africa? First of all, I can foresee that ANC is going to get a very, very tough future. Things are going to get even more worse in South Africa. South Africans are people who have enjoyed a very good life in their lives. You cannot compare a life of a South African with a life of somebody who's coming from Central Africa. But now, life is starting to become very, very, very tough. The political situation in South Africa is very complicated. Since South Africa is coming from the apartheid era, and many of the people, more especially African people, do not want to even think about those days when the apartheid was on its height. Therefore, when it comes to the elections, when people want to vote who must rule to them, first of all, they have to consider the background of where they come from. What I mean is that it's very difficult for people to go and vote and be able to choose the proper leaders for their country. This is because of the background of the country itself. South Africa comes from the apartheid background. And with this apartheid background, it actually has a very big influence when people go to vote for their leaders. Many people, when they are voting, they are always thinking about those days that they used to live in South Africa during the apartheid. And many of them, they do not wish to go back to that era. And this fear of this kind of situation makes it very difficult for people to select their leaders. So, because of this, you will find that some political parties, they take advantage of this situation, knowing that part of the vote that the ordinary South African citizen is going to share is biased on fear, or it is based on fear. The fear of going back to the era of apartheid makes people to make decisions that are not very good at the end of the day. This gives the opportunity for the political leaders to take advantage of this situation. But time is running out. South Africans are becoming impatient, meaning that very soon we will see a big change in South Africa. In fact, the next election that's coming in 2024, ANC is going to face a very, very, very tight rope. ANC might win the next election, but they might not win with overwhelming majority. This is going to happen because people have gotten very, very tired. And I believe that the ANC leaders, they can see at the moment and they know at the moment that the situation is going to get tough in the next election. If ANC wins again the next election in 2024, what's going to happen to South Africa? What will the future of South Africa be? It's very difficult to say because I don't think the situation in South Africa is going to get better. I think that the situation in South Africa is going to get worse and worse because it's going to be very tough for ANC to be able to rule the country after winning the 2024 elections, because it's going to be very difficult. The economy is going to get very bad. The people are going to get even more and more impatient. So South Africa is going to be almost like ungovernable. For the ordinary South African, it's going to be very tough. The prices of things are going to go high. Food is going to be scarce. And there will be a lot of people who are going to be leaving the country. We'll see a lot of businesses closing. If, in fact, even the services are going to get very, very poor. So I don't see anything good coming in the future in South Africa if ANC is still going to continue ruling South Africa. What about if ANC is going to lose? What's going to happen? The political party that's going to win is going to face a lot of challenges, because then they will be given the mandate to turn around the economical situation. This is not going to be very easy. First of all, they need to fix the energy. You know, as you know, Eskom is performing very poorly. You have to bring back the infrastructure, the electrical supply in South Africa. It needs to get better. This is not going to be very easy. Number two, they will need to stamp the corruption, and which is going to be very difficult in South Africa to get rid of corruption. And then we have the migrant situation. You have the new government who have to deal with the situation of the economical migrants. What is my advice to the youth of South Africa? The advice I can share with the youth of South Africa is that you should start educating yourself, go to school and get education, and also focus on getting skills that can help you to start a business. Practical skills are going to be the most important tool that you can use for you to be able to survive in the new South Africa. Having the proper skills will make sure that you can be able to go through the tough economical situations that are going to come in South Africa. If you want to learn more about how you can survive in the difficult South Africa that is coming, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.